Hind to all. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Anurodh Jha. He is a person of great personality, treasure of knowledge, and a man of repute. He has been the student of the reputed National Fire Service College and is currently working at ARFF, Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting, as a fire safety officer. Hope we would have an enriching conversation with him. And sir, we welcome you on this episode. And let's start our conversation with the very first question being, what does the firefighting in aviation industry demands from us, sir? Like we, the coming force, what qualities should we inherit to be in one of the most vibrant field of India, the aviation industry?
I get your question. You might be curious about how we are dealing in our department because our department is certainly different from the usual firefighting scene which you see in televisions. And you might have visited various fire stations in cities like more about Delhi Fire Service, Mumbai Fire Service. So our field is entirely different from municipal fire. What can we say? Fire services, all state fire services, because as an airport we are like operating 24x7, and we have to maintain a certain quality, a certain standard, and for that we have enhanced our services to such an extent that for us the time is very crucial. So if
Yes,
you
sir.
ask me like what are the qualities which are required for a candidate who wants to pursue his career in ARFF, I would say first discipline. As an working individual in ARFF, we highly appreciate discipline in one. As an employee, I have to be on time because when we talk about firefighting in any accident scenarios, we appreciate the time because for us, the response time is 2 minutes. Within our airport premises, we have a reference point, and from there, we have sketched a circumference of 8 kilometers. And to achieve that target, if there is any aircraft crash or any accident within the vicinity of our airport, which is 8 kilometers radius, we take 2 minutes to reach on site, and then we have a critical response time, which is around 90 seconds, in which we have to cut down the fire by 50%. So achieving all these targets, we appreciate that an individual should be disciplined and he should be able to manage time in his personal lifestyle, because the thing
Yes,
which you
sir.
do in your day-to-day life, that is what it makes you, and that is what you are going to do when you work. See, if you eat healthy, you will be healthy, right? So if you are practicing time management in your day-to-day schedule, that is how I would be looking up at you when you will be working. That I know Saurabh, he's a very well-managed guy. He maintains his time. So this is the first part, discipline and time management. The second point, it is their physical fitness. As an individual, we have to be very physically fit. We do our physical endurance test twice a year. Uh, Sorry, and then we also practice drills which are way too different than the drills which we used to do in our college and which you must be doing in
Yes,
our
sir.
fire tender drill, which we call the CFT drill. It takes hardly 3% to do the drill, which we are taking 6 people in our college, right? We have
Yes,
got
sir.
our pump drill, then we have got power tools drill, which in which we are using the PD saw, power driven saw, and cutter. Then we have got breathing apparatus drill, in which we are practicing donning and doffing of the suit, along with the suit and apart from the suit. And in that also we are taking time as very crucial. Just imagine a case. There is a crash near the airport or within the airport, and the
Yes.
vehicle is moving. Our vehicles are very sophisticated, and uh, mm, it takes around hardly 20 seconds for them to reach to up to 80 kilometers per hour. So the acceleration is pretty
Okay.
high, and the maximum speed is 140 kilometer per hour. And we are assuming the time of 2 minutes for reaching at the destination of the accident site. In that time, the firefighter should be able to don the PPE, including the breathing apparatus, and they should be ready to get off the vehicle and start firefighting if told by the supervisor or the in charge of the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
For doing all this stuff, you have to be physical fit, right? So that is what it is
Absolutely,
required.
sir.
So that is what is required for a person to work in ARFF. Just two simple things: discipline, time management, and
And
physical
physical
fitness.
endurance. Very, very great, sir. And I hope I also maintain that physical endurance. And with this, I would like to ask Mr. Nandan Kashyap to bring up the next question to you. Over to you, Nandan Kashyap.
Yes. Sir, as you are working on a airport, so can you please tell, are the fires happening there are different from the fire that we see around us? And sir, if it is so, then what are the ways to extinguish or encounter those fires?
Okay, so basically, we are dealing with mostly we are dealing with accidents related to aircrafts and the fire incidents which happen there. But there are miscellaneous fires and accidents which happen on land side. For example, there might be an accident at our terminal, the airport, or there might be a vehicular fire in the parking area. So apart from the basic fires, the structural fires, the specialization comes when the accident is localized to aircrafts and the aviation field, right? So if you are you might be studying all this stuff when you will be in sixth semester, the special
Yes,
hazards.
sir.
So they are the different composition of materials used in an aircraft. So one of the challenges which you can say is the size of the aircraft. The aircraft which
Okay.
usually you might be seeing, the operators such like Indigo and Air Asia, they are dealing with medium-sized aircrafts called Airbus 320, and
Yes,
all
sir.
these aircrafts are using specialized materials. So the body is made up of alloys like aluminum. The engine parts, they are using magnesium and titanium.
Okay.
Then when you are talking about inside the fuselage, we are dealing with sophisticated furnishing materials, and then there are the new polycarbonates which we are using for the inside the structure. Like when you go inside, you can see the cabins and everything. They are they are different polymers. So all these types of materials, they react very differently
Yes.
when the temperature starts to increase, when there is smoke.
Yes, sir.
So when we are usually we talk about engine fires and undercarriage fire because that is the most common phenomenon which can happen in a crisis. The probability and the
Yes,
risk of having all this fire is very much high as compared to the fire happening inside the fuselage. I will get back to it in a minute. So we will talk about engine fire. So you might be thinking this is the engine. Just imagine this is the engine, cylindrical engine.
yes, sir.
So inside there is a turbine.
Yes, sir.
See, so the turbine moves, and then we have got the propeller and stuff, and there are very sophisticated, like highly precisely designed pipelines and stuff for injecting the fuel and for compressing air. So there are chances the engine catches fire. So the aircraft is actually designed, and there are fire suppression system, inert gas system installed inside the engine. So the pilot has a command. He can press the button. They have the overhead switches, and they can operate them, and the fire will extinguish immediately. But what if the fire doesn't extinguish? In that case, we get the call from our ATC, air traffic control,
Mm.
and we take our predetermined positions, and then we observe the aircraft, and then we have the jurisdiction to follow the aircraft on its landing. And during the landing, we try to extinguish the fire using our vehicle. We have got the roof turret and the bumper turret. The discharge is of 6,000 liters per minute, and the water capacity is 12,000 liters. So we extinguish the fire, the first aid fire using the water. But usually, in such cases, in engine fire or in undercarriage fire, we try to use dry chemical powder
Okay, sir.
because that is beneficial.
Hmm.
But in case of if the aircraft
Yes,
is
sir.
landing and if the aircraft it is maneuvering, obviously we cannot use dry chemical powder. It
Yes.
will be a hazard for the firefighter who will be down the
Definitely, sir.
vehicle. So that is why we try to extinguish and fight the fire as much as we can using our vehicles only.
Okay.
That is the best practice we can say.
हाँ,
So your question was how our
you
accidents are different from other. So ठीक है. The undercarriage I've discussed because we are using the rubber tires which are 10 times more pressurized as compared to the trucks. We are using 7.5 bar. We are talking about 7.5 bar pressurized air inside the uh, wheel of the truck. So just
okay.
imagine 10 times more. It is
That's
like that.
huge, sir.
And what will
Yes, sir.
happen if the tire bursts? So we are practicing the aft and flow motion of firefighting. So if just imagine we are talking about like top view. So this is the undercarriage, the tires, simply the tires. Okay.
Mm,
So we have to do the firefighting from diagonally. Because if you are standing here or here, if your vehicle is like positioned here, so during an
Yes, sir.
explosion or something, you will directly get hit. So
mm,
so generally we talk about the tactics because the extinguishing media will be same.
mm.
We will be using water. So will be the municipal corporation because water is the most common and available extinguishing agent which you can find anywhere on earth, right?
And
Then
Yes.
comes engine fire. So we are aiming through the rotors because we have to get our extinguishing agent inside.
हाँ sir.
It should get inside. It shouldn't be
yes,
just
sir.
before the cowling. And then we have also achieved the cooling because in fuselage there are passengers sitting. They might be panicking, and due to heat, they might get more panic, and there might be a chaos, right?
Yes sir.
There might be stampede. So all these things which we have to consider, and we have to act accordingly. There are various factors.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a bit small curious question raising from your answer that
Okay.
where do the firefighters stay at the airport? Means you go with the flight or do you stay at the airport? What happens actually there?
Okay,
It's
okay,
quite
okay.
amazing field actually.
So just imagine this is a runway. This is the runway.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Field. This is our runway. Or just imagine
Yes,
this is
sir.
the runway. Okay. This is the
Yes,
whole
sir.
airport, the whole airfield. The building is here, the airport is here, which you talk about the airport. You are the passenger, so you might be boarding the gate, you sit in the bus, and then you move around. You might have seen the bus going like this and this. Your aircraft might be parked somewhere here. You get into the aircraft, then
Yes,
the
sir.
aircraft taxis. So we have got the taxiways. So they are just like this perpendicular, sorry, yeah, perpendicular and incident on some angle. We call them rapid exit taxiways for exiting the
Yes,
aircraft
sir.
quickly. And then we have got two taxiways like this. I am talking about the general precision runways. Okay. So the aircraft
Yes,
taxis
sir.
like this, and now it is ready for takeoff. So the aircraft takes off according to the wind direction. Like if the wind is going like this, so the aircraft takes off and lands against the wind direction. That is some technicality, but I'm telling you about all this stuff
Yes, sir.
because like see the windsock and tell what is the runway going in use. So okay, I got into much details, but it's fine. I hope now I will get back to your question. See,
No,
now
sir.
you are talking.
It was great. It was great.
Listen, listen. I will tell you how we react. ठीक है? This was your terminal. ठीक है? ये तुम्हारा टर्मिनल है. ठीक है? यहाँ पर टर्मिनल है. हमारा फायर स्टेशन कहीं कुछ इस तरफ रहता है. ठीक है? It is usually where we can react immediately to the aircraft. So just
Yes,
imagine we
sir.
are here. We got a call that an aircraft is on short finals. It is landing here, and now the just imagine the starboard side or the right side engine is on fire. We got the call immediately. The watchtower
Yes,
person
sir.
who might be sitting on the second floor, he will blare out the alarm and will continue passing on the details. And till this time, our vehicle, which will be parked here in the bay, it will go out and will take the shortest possible route to the end of the runway.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have got predetermined positions. We call them PDP.
Okay.
So on these PD positions, our vehicle should be positioned before the aircraft is going to land. So just imagine the aircraft is going to land from here. So our vehicle will be positioned here. As soon as the aircraft lands, I'm talking about the
Okay.
right side engine fire. Okay. So the plane landed and we know the engine is on fire. So we have to follow the aircraft
Okay,
at
sir.
a distance. which is safe from the aircraft. We cannot just like accelerate according to the aircraft. Obviously it is not possible. The aircraft that is very high speed, but we cannot like हम वो सिचुएशन नहीं भूल सकते और ऐसा भी नहीं कर सकते कि ज्यादा पास चले जाएं, अदरवाइज ड्यू टू द जेट ब्लास्ट, the propelled air which is going from the exhaust, it is so
Okay.
it is at 900 kilometers per hour and your vehicle will just like blow away.
Blow up. Yes, sir.
Yep. So we have to take a minimum distance and start the like if until the aircraft starts to get slow, we have to follow the aircraft, and as soon as the in charge thinks now they can start the firefighting, they have to in a jiffy initiate their roof monitor, the monitor which is on the roof, and start the firefighting there itself.
Okay, sir. That's great. That's a
I hope
great
I was
approach
able to
towards a fire hazard. Yeah, sir, definitely. It would be nice if you could teach us everything about the firefighting in the aviation industry. Means obviously we have a little
definitely.
time today, but someday again, if you would have time, we'll literally expand this knowledge of yours. And sir, with this, I would like to ask you, like, sir, what are the things that could motivate the coming force? Like, if I want to join this force, what the perspective should I have? What the greed should I have? Greed is not the exact word, but a hunger for the knowledge means what are the things that I should crave for if I want to join something, with any of the industries related to fire and safety, sir.
Hmm. So you are asking me what should create a need inside you that I have to do something,
Yes,
I
sir.
have to get into this industry. So for that, we have to get down on the basics, right? I'm not going to talk about some superficial things and I'm not going to motivate you or something. See, first of all, you are an undergraduate and you
Yes,
must be
sir.
thinking after my graduation you should get a job, right? There are 60 students in your class and there might be chances that some of your classmates will be well to do. They are from well to do families, some might be from very rich background, some might be from very poor background. So the motivation factors will be very different in all the cases. For
Yes,
you
sir.
it should be what will like तुम जो करोगे उससे तुम्हें क्या मिलेगा, तुम्हें
जी
शांति
सर.
मिलेगी, तुम्हें अच्छा लगेगा, तुम जो कर रहे हो उससे तुम सोसाइटी को क्या दे सकते हो, तुम्हारे आसपास के लोगों को क्या दे सकते हो, तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स को क्या दे सकते हो. That is all should be the things which should motivate you. Not
Definitely,
something
sir.
कि मुझे दुनिया बदल देनी है something या फिर मुझे पैसा चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. It should be just simple. It should just keep you happy.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
For some people, working in refinery would be great. They might be earning lakhs of rupees a month by working in offshore or some, like drilling and something. That is good. That is way too good. But for me, working in an
Yes, sir.
airport and keeping the airport safe 24/7, that makes me happy. That makes me glad.
Yes, sir.
I live in a
Yes.
city. Most of the people
That's more
don't.
important.
Yes.
That's more
So
important. Remote locations are very difficult to live at. Even though if you get a lot of salary, but you don't get that environment,
Right.
it becomes difficult after a certain time.
the lifestyle which you will be getting after getting a job, the salary, the amount of happiness, the work culture, that is all you should consider before money, actually. But for now,
Yes, sir.
what I will say is do anything, study everything, try to get thorough with your knowledge and land a job. As soon as you will get a job, you would be able to understand what you are doing, what you are getting into, and then you would be able to like break down things and realize कि मुझे हाँ यहाँ जाना है, मैं यहाँ जा सकता हूँ, मेरे लिए ये अच्छा हो. Then that will happen. But for first thing, what I will say, just do something and get a job. That's it. Because otherwise things get very complicated and tough. And
Definitely, sir. Definitely. With this, sir, I would again ask Nandan to present his question to you.
Sir, can you tell us about job opportunities in fire in aviation department from fire and safety perspective?
sure, sure, sure. That is a great question, and you should all should be aware about this. So, recently I heard a news. I wasn't following the news from past a year, but recently I was just like going through it, and I think there is some government policy or something, and the government is trying to like create small airports in different cities.
under
so
Udan
as to
scheme.
make, yeah, so under that scheme they are trying to connect all the small cities together using aviation, using the flights, and cutting down the time of transportation. So when all airports come,
Yes, sir.
they have to they have to maintain a level of category. We call it a rescue and firefighting level of category. So it ranges from 1 to 10. The higher the
Yes, sir.
category, the larger aircrafts can would be able to accommodate, get accommodated by the airport, by the
Yes.
operator. So the larger the aircraft will be landing, the more money will be getting from the aircraft. Obviously,
Exactly. Yes.
our income is from the parking and dealing with all those stuff. So what I'm going to say is, when an airport is created or it is constructed,
Hmm.
they have to house ARFF station, aircraft rescue and firefighting
Yes,
station,
sir.
in their. So if they are going to create a fire station, so they have to get the employees, right?
Yes.
Specialized employees. And where will they get the force from? From people like us who are dealing with all this stuff,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is one of the, what I will say, golden opportunity for people like like you, the undergraduates. And also another thing, there are companies like Adani who are trying to privatize the
Yes, sir.
airport. So they're also making, like creating new job opportunities in our field. So that is a good thing. And I won't suggest this thing because personally I don't fantasize this idea, but there are various airports operated by NATO,
Hmm.
and which are in Gandhar, Afghanistan, and
Okay.
Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Yes, sir.
And so they are also, like hiring people from India. But
Okay.
yeah, it is a nice thing, but it's just fine. I'm just telling you all the opportunities which we will get in aviation
Yes, sir. It depends
overseas.
upon person to person what they want to means what type of
I
job they
Yeah,
want to have.
Hmm.
And
exactly.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Continue.
And so
Yeah.
with this, I would like to ask you the last question, and that is the most important
Hmm.
question for undergraduates like us. Sir, any message
Okay.
for us? Any tip for us? Golden tip or anything for us?
See, I will tell you honestly. I was a average student in my whole class. I wasn't a straight A student or something. I was Sometimes I used to hardly pass in my exams. I'm telling you
Yes, sir.
frankly. See, I've got backlogs. I've got like around 11 backlogs in my whole 8 semesters. But I never gave up, because the thing which drove me for the whole 4 years was that I have to get back on my feet. I have to stand on my feet, and I have to be independent.
That's
That is the
great.
thing, and that is the thing which it should drive you. You should never give up. There was a time when we were hopeless. We were thinking ki we won't get a job. There were people. Even I was there in those. My percentage was below 60%. So वो लाजमी था कि मैं भी सब होप्स छोड़ दूं कि मेरी नौकरी नहीं लगेगी, और देयर वाज अ टाइम मैं वैसा सोचता था. बट
जी, सर.
उसी चीज में घुस जाना, उसी के बारे में सोचते रहना कि मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, उससे अच्छा यू शुड थिंक कि देयर विल बी अ अपॉर्चुनिटी, देयर विल बी अ टाइम फॉर यू टू शाइन. एंड दैट इज द थिंग विच यू शुड सी ऑलवेज. उसके अलावा तुम अगर कुछ भी देखोगे तो तुम सिर्फ डिप्रेस होगे, तुम सिर्फ बुरा फील करोगे, खराब फील करोगे.
बिल्कुल सर.
बट देयर शुड बी समथिंग, अ रे ऑफ होप, which you should be able to look up at and think कि yes, मेरे पास अभी भी चांस है. बस इससे ज्यादा मैं और क्या बोलूंगा. थोड़ा डिसिप्लिन रहो, टाइम मैनेज करो,
बिल्कुल सर.
ग्रूम रहो, कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट अप करो अपना, पोलाइट रहो. मैंने देखा है कई लोग पोलाइट नहीं है तुम्हारे बैचेस के, मैं मिला हूँ. ठीक है, बी पोलाइट. यू हैव टू टॉक टू पीपल. यू शुड लर्न हाउ टू टॉक टू पीपल, हाउ टू मीट विद सीनियर्स. थोड़ा बेसिक एटिकेट्स होना चाहिए. थोड़ा मतलब ग्रूमिंग तो करो अपने आप का. पर्सनली बोल रहा हूँ, ऐसा नहीं कि ऐसा डांट रहा हूँ वगैरह, बट यू शुड बी एबल टू ग्रूम योरसेल्फ. ठीक है, प्रेजेंटेबल होना चाहिए. सब कुछ बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें तुम अभी से करना स्टार्ट करोगे तो it will give a, like a larger effect in the long term.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that was a great idea and that was a great guidance. And we hope that we take up those things that you told us. We take up all your instructions seriously and implement in our life. And And so thank you for giving your valuable and precious time to us. And we hope that we have further fire talks like this. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure thing. I